Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest 8-second gaming, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the 3 easiest heroes to rank up for each and every role. Regardless of your skill tier, there's going to be something here for you, so let's get into it. But if you guys are really looking to take your Overwatch skill to the next level, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there we have top level coaches creating the best, most highly informative guides to make you the best player you could possibly be. Doesn't matter what you struggle with, we can help, and we've already helped a bunch of other people hit new peak ranks. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today. With that covered though, let's hop into things, and we're going to be starting off with the DPS because, you know, DPS, they're the most important people on the team, obviously. I'm not biased or anything, but you know, DPS is just way cooler. So for DPS, we're going to give you something you can certainly play on each map, so we got to start off with Echo. Echo is one of, if not the strongest DPS in the game by far in terms of carry potential. Even without a Mercy, she is absolutely lethal as she can find opportunities to 100 to 0 most targets instantly. And with the diversity in her playstyle, whether it's her solo roaming or following up on her teammates' plays with her beam, allowing her to output incredible damage, there really isn't anything going wrong with this pick. I mean, sure, if you played into double hit scan, it can be pretty rough, but even still, finding value isn't that hard, especially when you consider the fact your tank and DPS will likely be doing everything in their power to harass them and allow you to pop off and find picks onto either the enemy tank or supports. But that is Echo covered, so now let's move into our next one, and that's going to be Torbjorn. We weren't kidding when we put him so high rated in our underrated heroes, and we aren't kidding here either. Torb is known for being extremely simplistic in the sense of how much value his turret gains, but his gun packs an insane punch for how easily it is to use, whether it's blasting enemies down with your right-click shotgun or spamming in what are essentially lower damage yet still lethal Hanzo arrows at a higher pace than Hanzo could in the first place. On Torbjorn, unlike most heroes, you'll get away with being out of position most of the time unless you take that too literally and frontline a bit too hard. Even still, he is incredibly tanky, and learning to go extremely aggressive when your overload is up will ensure you pretty much never die, especially in duels. His turret will also deal with flankers while you blast down enemy tanks for free, and the burst of movement speed you gain isn't to be underrated either, as people literally cannot escape you without wasting the cooldowns they would not have needed to win the duel against you in the first place. All that being said, he is likely our highest tier suggestion here, as we really do think he packs the punch in any elo that any DPS player would look for in an OP easy to play hero. But our last DPS pick has to be Mei. She can be considered to have a fairly complex kit, but it's actually fairly simple to master in comparison to the rest of the hero pool. You wall people off, you heal yourself or avoid danger with your cryo, you get the picture. They actually upped the skill ceiling of her thanks to her one-shot combo of freezing, then using your icicle to finish off enemies, but don't let that scare you from learning her, as she is very simplistic. You don't really need good mechanics for her, although having them is always one of those benefits for long-range icicles or some duels, and her abilities require next to zero mechanics, as once you learn to look for those wall opportunities, everything else just kind of falls into place. Ulting as Mei is also extremely high value and easy to use when hunting just the enemy tank. Make sure not to fall into the trap of looking for massive ult potential, as it's inconsistent and likely to completely miss anyone. Simply taking out the enemy tank first is plenty enough. But that is our DPS covered, so now let's move into the tanky boys. And up first, we're glad to mention once again Orisa. She has felt awesome in the meta, countering all other brawl tanks, her only setback being mobility, yet she still is an absolute menace on most maps. Her survivability is unmatched even by D.Va, and as she can completely deny all attempts from enemies to deal lethal damage to her just like a D.Va can with her defense matrix, Orisa finds incredible value. She has been pretty strong since release, giving her extra reason to be added to your hero pool, as her kit just seems potent enough to always be played in the meta, and her kit is very simple to master, and the mechanics required on her aren't super demanding, but again, having them never hurts. But that's Orisa covered, so let's move into our next tank, and you've probably guessed it because we mentioned her a bunch talking about Orisa, but obviously it's going to be D.Va. D.Va is always a staple pick that works pretty well into every single matchup and absolutely works on every map. D.Va within her relatively simple kit is an extremely complex hero, but thanks to her being easy to use in a general sense, she is a pretty good hero to pick up and run in ranked. Her survivability, just like Orisa, allows her to be an extremely potent frontlining tank, even though you mainly want to be looking for engage opportunities or counter dives, as your peel potential and damage is extremely high. When facing an enemy tank, it's likely you'll do more damage to them than they can output to you, and even if you are demeched, you can always use that ultimate to get straight back into it. But our last tank, of course, we have to put Ramattra here. We've already talked about him a lot, and we can't really overstate how strong he is. As an extremely simple to play hero that can burst down enemies in a matter of seconds, there really is no reason to play him, unless of course you like losing ranks. We talk about the survivability of tanks a lot, as it's certainly one of the most important factors to make a tank powerful, and Ramattra doesn't lack there. He can reset his armor every 8 seconds and rotate 675 armor with his ultimate, and thanks to Nemesis form staying up for a while, you maintain it the entire time. If that isn't enough survivability, then blocking while in Nemesis form blocks 75% of incoming damage. Yes, you are going to be near unkillable, and no, the enemies will not be having fun playing against that. And part of the fun of Overwatch is sucking all of the fun out from your enemies. But that's our tank and DPS covered, so now let's move into the support. And first up on the support roster, we gotta add Zenyatta. Although a difficult support at the surface level, he gains almost all of his value from simply slapping his Discord orb onto the enemy tank and being alive. So that's exactly what you want to do. Having the enemy tank take a bonus 25% damage is an absolute insane multiplier and leads to their inability to do their job, which is control or take space, especially if they are a brawling tank. Sure, there are some struggles that you'll have with survivability. You will be a big target for all enemies. However, the damage you can output, and again, the Discord orb applying that massive damage buff for your entire team, will certainly find you great value, and learning to simply stay alive will work wonders for you as a support player and help you rank up. But next up, we gotta talk about Lucio, and he has an extremely low skill floor and probably the highest skill ceiling out of all of the supports. Lucio is certainly a great hero for all skill levels. Your value comes from the ability to apply great healing to all members of your team in a considerably large radius, but also be able to get them in and out as they please thanks to your speed boost. And as you improve on this hero, learning to play back to front, meaning knowing when to go in with your tank, speed boosting them in, and preventing enemy flankers from engaging your backline will help tremendously. As one of the most dynamic supports in the game, there's no way we can't put him on this list. And last up, but certainly not least, we have Baptiste. We talk about him non-stop because he is also an amazing hero for all skill levels. He is an absolute menace, being able to output the highest healing in the game, as well as having the ability to roam and off angle on his own because he just outputs a ton of damage as well. So he is able to find his own picks. But regardless of your playstyle, you'll find grave value with some of the best Baptiste players being able to achieve top 500 simply DPSing alone. Even if you are DPSing at the wrong time or healing when you could be damaging because your kit is so overloaded, it's hard to mess up so badly you put your team in a significantly worse position in a fight. Now that will have some exceptions of course, but there's a great reason why we have been talking about it so much recently. He's an insane support that you absolutely have to add to your hero pool. But let me know your favorite hero to climb in the comments down below, and if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Overwatch tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thanks all for watching. Once again, I'm GameLeap, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But also, if you guys are going to be looking to take your Overwatch skill to the next level, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there we have top level coaches, including myself, creating the best, most highly informative guides to make you the best player you can possibly be. No matter what you struggle with, we have the solution for you. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today.